Okay, welcome everyone to our Monday night call with the beautiful Kelly Norman. Um, just really quick, so those of you that don't know Kelly, she is a Diamond Ambassador with Plexus. She has an incredible story. If you have not heard her story, then you should for sure find her Diamond documentary and look at her videos on YouTube. She's a very inspiring woman. And not only that, she is a John Maxwell certified trainer and speaker. And I tell you what, we got to have her in August, and her message stirred every single heart in that place. And I can't tell you how many people I've heard that said it was at the Kelly Norman event that I got my breakthrough. Either I decided I was going to really go for this, or it just helped me open my eyes to what the possibilities are, or just, I have had so many people express what a life-changing event that was when we had her talk to our teams in August. And so with this new year pending, we just felt like we would love to just infiltrate all of our teams with belief and all of the truth that we know that is yours and ours. And there's just no one better to speak that truth and to wake us all up to our truth than this beautiful woman. And she's just been an absolute mentor for me personally on this journey. And I am just so grateful and honored and blessed to have the opportunity to hear from her tonight. So I'm going to shut up and hear from beautiful Kelly Norman.
Thank you, Christy. You know, I feel so warm and so full when I'm around Christy Jackson. So I know you guys are thankful for her. And my goodness, just providing you with this time for growth and really thinking about what does my team need? What do the people that I love, that I'm on this journey with, what can help them to be better? Because I know that woman's heart, and her heart is that she wants you to succeed in Plexus. But more than that, she wants you to succeed as a person, as a spouse, as a mother. And, you know, that is my heart as I come here tonight with you. So she mentioned I'm a John Maxwell certified trainer, speaker, and coach. And something that I have just ventured into is doing a mastermind. And so that's one thing that you do when you can do when you get your John Maxwell certification. So you lead a group of people through a study. And the study that I felt like that I was to do was Intentional Living. It's a pretty new book of John's. And we did a 10-week mastermind. And it was so successful that I'm going to do another one at the end of January. But a lot of this information that I'm going to bring to you tonight was taken through these past 10 weeks with women that we dug deep, and they just wanted more out of their life. So when we talk about vision and we talk about 2018, we talk about a new year, my blood just starts to ignite because I love new things. I love the newness. I cannot wait for January because that means it's going to be a new year. So let's jump in here and talk about your life. I just want to talk to you tonight. And what I see is that so many people are wandering through life with no direction, no vision, and no purpose. Now, many people just know that there has to be a little bit more out there, that they know that surely they have a purpose on this earth, but they're wandering because they never get clarity or never get a hold of it. There's a scripture that I want to bring out, and it says, where there's no vision, the people perish. Where you and I do not have vision in our life, guys, it's like death is there. It's like perishing is there, because vision is that vital. And if I was talking to you about your future, which I'm talking to you tonight, one thing that would come up to me would be vision. And I would encourage you to spend time imagining, reflecting, thinking about your vision and where you're going. And I'm going to help you with that tonight. So I ask you, do you ever think, I know there has to be more? Do you ever feel that you are called to something significant? That there is something that you just really feel like that you are called to, and it is going to impact people's lives? You know, many of you are sitting there and on the inside you're going, yes. And you've even had ideas. You've even had things pop up. You've had desires come up in your mind, but you did not know how to fulfill them. You did not know, you couldn't figure out how to walk it out. But there's some things swirling around. Also, our minds are so cluttered. And we're going to talk about that some more tonight, but you and I miss so many significant opportunities because our mind is cluttered, because we have so many things going on, and I'm going to break those down. So I ask you, if your life was a story, if your life was a book, if you looked at your life as a movie, would you be the leading role in it? Are you the character in your story? Because so many times, most of us are just the supporting roles. We're standing on the sidelines of it, but we're not the main character. We're not the hero. We're just the one that's being the supporting role in it all. And my friends, tonight, I tell you, is that it's time that we step up into the hero of our story, into the supporting, out of the supporting role, but into the main character of your life. So I told you I just got through with 10 weeks of this intentional living mastermind, and I really think that it's one of the most powerful things I've ever done. With this group of 7 to 10 women, it was life-changing. And one of the things I started out and I had them to do was write their eulogy. So I've heard it said, start at the end. So I just commissioned you tonight. Spend some time, and what do you want them to say when your life is over? And get detailed about it. What do you want them to say about you and your life and what you accomplished? Write your future out. Start at the end. Okay, so when we did this with some beautiful women that went through this mastermind with me, several of them would say, that she was a good wife. That he would be up there and he would be talking and he would be saying, so-and-so was such a loving wife. She was a successful entrepreneur. She was a diamond in her company and talked about her success with this business. And then we went on to other things, like she was known for her giving. She was an author, one of them said. Another one said that she started an equine facility for handicapped kids. Now, as I went through their eulogies individually, and we worked it out one-on-one and saw what I saw out of there, I'm just going to tell you some things that I did. So when I come across that they said that she was a good wife, so I would ask this woman, I would say, okay, so what are you doing today that's a good wife? You want to be known for that, and you want your life to be that. But today, practically, waking up, getting out of bed, what are you doing that can bless your husband? They talked about being a loving mother. What practically are you doing to be that great mom? And I had them write some things down that could fill in their days, that they could actually take action to. You see, we wish and we dream, but we never roll up our sleeves and become awakened to the realness of what can I do right now? Okay, so there was one lady that really felt like that she had the gift to give radically. But she felt like that she didn't have, a lot of finances to give that radical giving. But my commission to her was, well, what can you give today? When you drive through Starbucks, or when you drive through wherever, when you go out to eat, can you buy dinner maybe once a month for somebody in the restaurant that God lays on your heart? Can you pay for the people behind you at Starbucks? Can you, whatever that is, I don't think it's the abundance necessarily, all the zeros behind the giving. I think it's the heart behind it and the obedience. And I really believe that as God sees us faithful with little, He allows us to be faithful with much. And so if you have a desire to give, where are you giving today? One of them said that she had a desire to be an author and to write children's books. And she already had some in her heart. And so I asked her, well, what was she writing today? Well, that was a desire of hers, but she wasn't writing every single day. Well, guess what? By the time we were done with the study, guys, she was making strides to getting her book published just within this 10 weeks, because she was sitting there wishing and dreaming, and the self-sabotage, which we're going to talk about in a minute, won out. The lady that wanted an equine facility for handicapped kids, maybe she didn't have the money to go do that today, but I bet within a 50-mile radius, there's somebody that's doing something like that, and she can volunteer, she could learn, and move towards her goals of starting that. So I think you're getting the picture here of how we start at the end, write your eulogy, write what you want your future to look like. You know, when I went into the high school last year with some John Maxwell curriculum and some things that I had compiled myself that I'm really passionate about, one thing that I had these freshman kids do was I had them get a piece of paper and I said, I want you to write down your goals. I want you to write down your dreams. It does not matter. There is no restrictions. And I gave them time to write. So then we set that piece of paper aside and we pulled out another piece of paper and I said, now I want you to write down every single thing you do every day. So I want you to, if you wake up at 6:30, I want you to write down, wake up at 6:30, I eat breakfast, all the way till you go to bed at night. Everything you do. And so when they were done with that, we pulled these 2 sheets of paper out. And when one young man said that he wanted to play college ball. He wanted to go on to college and play ball. Okay. But when I looked at his daily activities, the only time he was working out is at school. And so I let him know that, you know, probably you're not going to be able to go play college ball if you're not going to be working out outside of your school activities. Because the people that excel and go forward are the ones that do more. And then, but here's the deal with us is that when you look at your goals and then you look at your daily activity, what are you doing every single day that's moving you towards those goals? What are you doing every day that's moving you farther from those goals? That is just filling in a void of space that's moving you nowhere. Then, so what are the things that you can take out? What are the things that you need to place back in there? Guys, it's a very, very simple exercise, but life is simple. I truly believe this. I believe we overcomplicate all of this. Where are you wanting to go, and what are your days filled with to get you where you want to go? To be the hero of your own story, which is where we're wanting to get to. We want to be the leading character in our life. To be that, we're going to have to make some tough choices. And so I'm going to throw a few of those tough choices out here. To take back control of your life, to be the hero, to be the main character, some of those tough choices is going to be time. You're going to have to give up some time doing some things that are not moving you towards your goals to filling that with things that are moving you towards your goals. You're going to have to make the tough choices of swallowing some pride and taking some constructive criticism. You're going to have to step out of your comfort zone and stop letting fear hold you back. You're going to have to choose to set some boundaries, and the tough choices of some people might not get to continue to walk through life with you. You're going to have to break up with self-sabotage. You see, you and I, it's crazy. We've kind of become familiar with self-sabotage, of this mindset that is so toxic. Because it's like a muscle, and if you've heard me talk before, is that when you're working out and you're exercising and you're using that muscle, is that it gets easier and easier, right? Well, the self-sabotage is we have exercised that negative, toxic muscle inside of our brain that it's so easy to go there. It's the familiar place. It just falls right in line. But see, if you want to be the hero in your life, if you want to be the leading character, you're going to have to break it. You're going to have to break up with self-sabotage. You know, many of us have been dating him way too long, and it's time for a breakup. And you know, when you break up, even when you don't really love the person, I know there's been guys in your past when you were young you had to break up with, and you know that was not the one for you, but it still hurt. It was still hard. And so that's what's going to happen, is that it's going to hurt, it's going to be hard, but you know you don't want to be married to this. It's your comfortable place. It's that familiar place. But when you get sick and tired of going nowhere, when you get sick and tired of going around the same mountain over and over again, then you're ready. And that's who I'm talking to tonight. I'm talking to the people that are sick and tired. Because truly, you're not going to make a change unless you're sick and tired of it. Some of you have made some bad agreements. Some of you have made some bad agreements with some lying voices inside of your brain. So really quick, where do these agreements come from? Where is our brain programmed from? Well, it's what people have told us throughout our life that we have decided to agree with. It's what we've told ourselves. Those are the two major things I believe that we agree with. Failure. And I'm going to talk about failure in a second, but we take failure on as our identity. And so that allows us to make a bad agreement. That is a bad agreement that you are a failure. That is a bad agreement that your future is going to turn out like your past. Bad agreements. So some things I wrote down here are mental wrestling. You ever feel like you're wrestling, like you're exhausted? You are exhausted because that mental wrestling that's going on, the self-sabotage, I would even say a few pity parties are being thrown in there. Bad agreements. All right, what about your fear of stepping out? Are some of you so paralyzed right now because you just have fear? Fear of failure, fear of rejection. Some of us are in that place of going nowhere because our desire to self-medicate is stronger than our self-discipline to cut out some things and move towards our goals. So I know this sounds so silly and simple, but these are the things that are that's stealing your future. Self-medicating with Netflix, with Facebook, with the bottle of wine, whatever that is that for your life. Because okay, so the noise is heavy, the self-sabotage is so destructive, it's toxic, and so but you can escape it by scrolling Facebook, by binging on Netflix, and those things are bad, but when we're going there, guys, to escape, and that fills our days, when 5 minutes turns into an hour and a half, when a glass of wine turns into the whole bottle, when you fill in the blank of it all. So we're self medicating ourselves. Okay, so we're going around the same mountain because of our approval addiction, and we want to be a people pleaser, and that causes us not to set boundaries with some people. Our insecurities are so large that we put up a defensive wall when we receive that constructive criticism I talked about. Our ignorance to failure. Our ignorance that failure is a tool. Many of you may know this, but my book I just wrote a book, and it's being edited right now, and I believe it's going to be the end of January that it will be available. So a lot of these things I'm talking about, you'll want to get the book and you'll want to read it. But I have a whole section in there over failure. And see, what happens is that we all fail. And you're going to fail again. I'm going to fail again. It's part of life. Failure is. But when we learn that failure can be a tool for us to grow from, and not take our identity from, then everything switches. Okay, so I failed there. So now the first thing I'm going to look at is, what can I learn from this? How can I not step into that again? And I've learned that I don't take failure on as identity, and I don't let failure to come in as fear that it's going to happen again in the future that keeps me from stepping out. These things that I just mentioned to you, what they do is they keep us from identifying significant opportunities in life. Every single day, you are giving an opportunity to be significant. Every single day, you're giving an opportunity to move towards your goals, to move towards your destiny and to your purpose, to change the world around you. I believe it with all my heart. Every single person, the sound of my voice, has the power to change the world around them. But all these things I talked about, that we miss those opportunities. I believe that life is passing us by while we stay busy wrestling with all these things. Life is passing us by. Days turn into weeks, weeks turn into months, and we're still walking around the same mountain, fighting with the same junk. I believe it's kind of cliche, but it says the only moment we have is now. And it's really true. The only moment that you and I have is right now. So I want to commission you. When we talk about your future, when we talk about vision, we talk about bringing clarity. This is the foundation of it all, guys. I can go into in-depth things on how to dream and how to find your vision and what are your desires and what are your strengths and all of this. But here it is. None of it's going to last if your foundation is not strong. If you're not sick and tired of walking around this mountain and you're ready to make a change, you're ready to throw out those things that we just talked about and make action steps towards fulfilling those goals. So I wrote down, throw off the things that are entangling you and run your race. It's a scripture in Hebrews of the Bible. Throw off those things that are, there's so many things that are weighing you down. Are you sick of it? Because that's good. That's a good place to be. I like to talk to people that are sick and tired of it because those are the people that are ready to make a change and to step into what they're called to do. So it's kind of simple as a decision. They say to not be an alcoholic anymore, the first thing you have to do is admit that you're an alcoholic and decide you don't want to be anymore. And so today, for us to decide that we want to change, it's all in a decision. Today, I want to change. Today, I want to make steps that push me closer to my purpose and my destiny and to significance and changing the world around me. And you know what that consists of? Is opening your eyes. Because there is tremendous blessings and opportunities around you that you're missing every single day. Some of that is just a smile. Open your eyes, put a smile on your face, get a journal of thankfulness because that's going to help you find that inner peace and that joy and that happiness. Gratitude, an attitude of gratitude. It'll determine your altitude. Spend some time on who you are. What are your dreams? What are your desires? You know, it is not easy. It is not easy discovering your purpose. It is not easy at all. Because why? Because it's not microwave. Because it's not easy. People think, oh, it's just going to come out of the sky and it'll just plop on me and I'll have this awakening and that is my purpose. Or I'll receive it in the mail one day, right? No, it's going to be time of getting quiet. And you and I live in a society that being quiet has been stolen from us. You're hearing more and more people talking about it now. But that's one of the best things you could do for yourself. Be quiet, reflect. What are your passions? What are your goals? What are you good at? If you could help anybody today, who would it be? Do you lean towards more kids? Do you lean towards, do the elderly? Do they move your heart? Do you lean towards women? Just ask yourself thousands of questions. There's no magic question to ask, but there's questions that you need to ask. So if I could change the world, what would I change? If I could do one thing today, what would it be? What do I do that just sets me on fire? And so as you start asking yourselves these things, what am I good at? What do people say that I'm good at? And keep a journal, write this stuff down. You need to fall in love with yourself again. Because you see, these giftings that I'm talking about that you have giftings. What is it that if I ask you to do it tonight, you would like be, bam, yeah, let's do it. I go for it. I can, whether it's baking, whether it's making something, whether it's, speaking on this Zoom right here. I knew that I could do this. I knew that I could prepare. It wasn't going to take me weeks to prepare because this is my gifting. This is what I'm good at. What are you good at? What would it be that if I ask you, hey, can you do that? And you're like, yeah, sure, got it. And those things that I ask you to do that you're like, oh my gosh, that's so hard. I don't want to do that. And that may be not, the direction that you want to go. John Maxwell talks about, God-given talents are just the things you got to dust off a little bit. And those man-made talents, boy, it's hard. It's hard to do those things. So what is your God-given talents? And what I was going to say a second ago is our gifts that have been given weren't really gifts for you. Your giftings were not a gift to you. They were a gift to the people around you. Because when we discover our purpose, I think that's success. It doesn't have to do with a dollar sign. It doesn't have to do with how many points you end up with in Plexus. It doesn't have to do with any of that. But when you know what I was put on this earth for, I think that's truly success because you can start operating in that. But success is not fulfilled unless its significance is added to it. And to be significant is when you discover your purpose and you can start adding value to people's lives around you. That you can now pour out your life. I believe that really we were created to pour out to others. And we will truly not be happy unless we are adding value to somebody's life, serving somebody else, because we will all serve something. Some people serve themselves. Some people serve God. Discover what are you serving right now in your life. And we were created to serve. So my desire for you is that something clicked inside of you. It's like, I can do this. I am called. I have a purpose. And today I may not know what that purpose is, but it's okay because I can move towards that and I can spend some time reflecting on that. And here's another thing. Don't let the overwhelmingness of not knowing your purpose steal from you because it's the journey, right? And the gift is the journey. Bloom where you're planted. Be a blessing every day to other people around you. Every single day. It's part of the journey. There's significant pieces that you're supposed to learn in each and every day. God has created you for a purpose. You are valuable. He created you perfectly, I do believe. And it is time for us to break up with the self-sabotage. It is time for us to step out of the comfort zones. I have a mentorship call that I do on Tuesdays, and one of them's on comfort zone. And I talked about this pink chair that I have in my room. And this pink chair fits me perfectly. And when I sit in this chair, I just form into it. And I feel so good. So if I need to go take a break from life, you might find me in the corner of my room in my pink chair, just sitting there. But the pink chair is so comfortable. I have to remind myself, Kelly, you can't stay in the pink chair. We can't stay in the comfortable place. We have to step out. So tonight, I hope maybe some courage raised up inside of you. And I know that we're all in this. This is a Plexus Zoom. And I didn't come tonight to talk about IPAs, although if you said that you want to be a diamond ambassador with Plexus, then that's the thing we need to look at. Are you having some IPAs? Are you reaching out to people every single day? Are you following up? Are you posting on Facebook? Are you doing those things? If you want to be a great wife, are you doing those things daily, sacrificially loving your husband? You can see how you start from the end, you back up, you ask yourself some questions. What do I need to do? Because it's action, guys. Action will change you. Action will get you out of the pit. And so if you feel lethargic, if you feel paralyzed, if you feel overwhelmed, take a deep breath. Remember your goal. What is the action I can take to move closer to that today? It's really simple. And, I really wasn't able to come to you with the great secret of life, the key that unlocks it all. I just come to you tonight with the simplicity of remembering that you have value, remembering that God has a purpose for your life. Get rid of the self-sabotage, throw out the fear, throw out the pity parties, get some self-discipline, cut out the things that are dragging you down. And there's some things that are fine in moderation. I mean, you have a favorite show on Netflix, go watch a show, spend the time with your family. But guys, if you're in the PJs and the blanket and the whole day is gone and you have watched the whole series on Netflix, I mean, it might take some attention to look at that. So that's what I had for you tonight.
I love it. Thank you so much. That was beautiful. So Kelly, I have a question for you. So what do you do when you got your purpose and you feel like you're working on it in the slow cooker, right? Because it takes time, but you're on the journey and you're doing the deal and you get these thoughts that creep in. Like I know you're an affirmation girl and most of us are, but how do you deal with that? Because I know it happens all day long to most of us. We're being attacked with these thoughts of, oh, people think you're annoying, or you can't really do this, or, these people quit, and now you're thinking, oh, is this ever going to work? How do you deal with that?
I'm glad you asked that. And I have a whole chapter in my book that talks about this, and I shared it at the workshop. So if you were at the workshop, you'll have to hear it again. But something I tell people is, if you're having a problem with self-sabotage, with the negative mindsets, in which you're human, so you probably are, then pull out a piece of paper and just start writing those things down. Because when you bring things into the light, it exposes them. When you bring a lie into the light, it exposes it as a lie. So you start writing down all of these things that are, I call them the voices that you have taken agreement with. That I'm not smart enough. Nobody wants to listen to me. I failed once, I'll fail again. I'm whatever those, I'm too outgoing, I'm too shy, I'm too whatever they are, okay? It's going to be all kinds of different things. Spend some time, write them down on a piece of paper, and then get you another sheet of paper and start writing the opposite, which I call the truth. Write the truth down. I am valuable. People want to hear what I have to say. And so you write that down. And I love to take scripture because that just really ministers to me. I believe that the Word of God, I believe that Scripture has power in it. And so I love to speak Scripture, which is to me the truth over those things. So if that works for you, then great. If that doesn't register to you, then you don't have to do that. But write the truth down, and then go burn that sheet of paper of those agreements and that may sound crazy to you, but I have seen breakthrough after breakthrough of people seeing the lies that they have had agreement with burn up in flames, that something happens. And now you have your affirmations. And so every single day, start saying these affirmations. Now, I'll be honest with you, most people quit after 3 to 7 days because I don't know why. We're just human, I guess. But it takes 21 days to break a habit and 2 more cycles of 20 to 21 to form a new one. So that means you need to say these affirmations for 63 days. And as you're going through this journey, other things are going to pop up. And you just make you a new affirmation there. And Carolyn Leaf talks about seeing the lie vanish in your head, like it being a cloud bubble. And as it comes in and you capture it, in 2 Corinthians, I believe it's 10, 4, and 5, it says, capture every thought that does not line up with Christ. Every thought that is a lie, okay? You capture it, and you throw it out, and you replace it with the truth. See it vanishing from your head. And your affirmations are huge in your life, and you've got to be faithful every single day of speaking life over yourself. So that's what I would encourage people. And there's a repeated app. One thing that when people come back to me and say it's not working, I know that they are not saying their affirmations out loud. They're reading them in their head, and it does not work. It does not work to read affirmations in your head. You have to speak them out loud. It retrains. When your ears hear your mouth speak, something happens on the inside of you. So that's what I would say about those affirmations. And I credit where my success of who I am as a mother, as a parent, as a businesswoman, as a child of God, to speaking the truth out loud over my life. It was like I think it does battle. I believe that we're spirit beings, and that I believe we're more spirit than we are physical. And so it's like a battle in the spiritual realm when we speak these things. And then scientifically, it's proven that it rewires your brain when you do this exercise.
63 days. I love that. I have all these ideas of like, what are we going to do? This challenge for 63 days. Love that, Kelly. Okay. Well, we are so blessed to hear from you tonight. I am just so grateful to have you. And I hope that you guys have gotten nuggets to take and put into your heart and use them, because this is just amazing. So thank you so much, Kelly. I can't tell you how much we appreciate you coming and sharing with us tonight on this late night for you. So thank you so much. We love you. Mwah. Team Synergy.
Oh, thank you. I'm honored to be here. So I appreciate you asking me.
Oh, of course. We can't wait to read your book when it comes out. Oh, it's going to be awesome. So thank you so much. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Love you all. Create a beautiful night. We'll talk soon.
Good night.
See ya.